addition to welcoming our newest graduates into the CERT program tonight, we also want to recognize 3 extraordinary CERT members for their exemplary service, as Andy mentioned, in emergency preparedness education. The John D. Solomon Award is named in the memory of an incredible CERT volunteer who was a dedicated and passionate New York City CERT member. John worked hard to ensure that everyone was prepared for emergencies. We all remember working closely with him, and he always strove to work hard and to help us to do better and to help the program. This year we are giving the award to Susan Flashenberg, as Andy mentioned, who has shown outstanding commitment to the CERT program and participation in educating New Yorkers about emergency preparedness. Abby Solomon, John's widow, was scheduled to come say a few words, as she does every year. Unfortunately, her daughter is in the throes of a stomach bug, so she is not here. But I'm happy that Ann Solomon, John's mother, will come to help me give the award to Susan, and then Susan will say a few words. So Ann and Susan, come on up.
It's like the Oscars, you get it first and then you get
exactly.
Such humble.
There you go.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Can everybody see me? Because I kind of feel like A. Beam at the pedestal. Okay, you don't know who A. Beam is. Okay. Thank you to all who were involved in my selection. I am still in shock. To Commissioner Criswell, Assistant Commissioner Schaefer, CERT program staff, Joe Capello, Denise Esposito, Eddie Sanchez, Regina Wilson, my CERT colleagues, CERT graduates, friends, and most importantly, the Solomon family. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the reason I am standing before you here today. I am deeply honored and frankly still stunned to be receiving this prestigious John D. Solomon Award for exemplary service in emergency preparedness education this year. I am also practically speechless, practically. Receiving this award is not the sum total of my CERT experience, but part of a journey I have been on to try to make my world a better place by helping my neighbors and community be better prepared for emergencies when they happen. You know, we make plans for so many of our key life passages and experiences. Our education, careers, loving partnerships, families, vacations, health and financial planning, life insurance, home buying, death, and taxes. We don't tend to make a plan for when the poop hits the fan. Now, you know what I mean? Emergencies. My mantra has been, emergencies don't have a plan, but you can. It is this self-empowering message that I try to share and promote. I first heard about the award when I attended my own CERT graduation in January of 2011. There was a brief outline of the life of the award's namesake, John D. Solomon, and then a presentation to that year's awardee. I did not know John Solomon, but I was struck by how dedicated and committed he was to emergency preparedness education and knowledge and its promotion as an important life skill in a post-9/11 world. He seemed to be always learning, looking for new ways to be better prepared and to communicate emergency preparedness to others. I then thought the award's recipient must be someone so truly devoted to emergency preparedness that she must be incredibly amazing especially since this is all done as a volunteer and on personal time. I never, ever thought it would be given to me. Well, I am not amazing, but I am someone who has always wanted to help people and be a guide in helping make people's lives better, to do more for my community. I guess my own journey began on 9/11. The effects of that day and in the months afterward, the feeling of powerlessness, insecurity, and vulnerability persisted and began to affect my coping skills. What I began to realize is that I needed to do something to feel less helpless and to be better prepared when this or any other crisis happens again. In 2007, I learned about the CERT program from a friend who was here today, and realized that this is the answer. I got into the CERT class in the fall of 2010 and then graduated in 2011. My team, Brooklyn 13, includes Coney Island, Seagate, Brighton Beach, and part of Gravesend. I've been team chief since January of 2017. My team is involved in a lot of fun events, including the Coney Island Polar Bear Plunge on New Year's Day, the Mermaid Parade in June, and the July 4th Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. But it's not just the events that I attend and deploy to within my own community. I also volunteer and assist in other team deployments in other parts of Brooklyn, as well as in other boroughs as well. As important as participating in these events are to the safety and security of the public, my greatest satisfaction comes from knowing how to be prepared and spreading the emergency preparedness message to the community. I do this by staffing Ready New York tables at numerous fairs and public events and holding Ready New York presentations for groups. It is at this time that I have an opportunity to talk to people and to try to convince them that emergency preparedness is not just having a flashlight with working batteries. It is in taking stock of what is important and vital to your survival and recovery when the poop hits the fan, and it will. People do not think of emergency preparedness as an essential part of their life plan portfolio, and that is understandable. We don't like to think that bad things will happen, so we don't plan for them to be happening. In speaking on emergency preparedness to people, I often get comments such as, well, I'm on the 10th floor of my apartment building, so I can't be affected by flooding. I will shelter in place until I am rescued. I would never leave my home so that the looters can take all of my stuff. I don't need a plan. I will do what I have to do when the time comes. To all of this, I respond, poppycock, which is a more polite word than what I would normally like to use, and is a vintage term that grabs their attention. Poppycock, I tell them. And with the increasing severity of storms springing from climate change and aging city infrastructure, such as burst water mains, sewer pipes, exploding gas lines, steam pipe bursts, etc., the constant threat of terrorism, the chance of structural fires, and just plain bad luck. An emergency preparedness plan is a requirement for everyone. It is a proactive life assurance plan. Creating the plan is not hard. It just takes some time and some thought. The plan provides you with the security of knowing that you have a plan when something happens. And the emergency preparedness plan doesn't cost you a dime. I love sharing my knowledge with my community, but emergency preparedness education is not a one-size-fits-all activity, nor is it a one-time event. You need to engage your audience, which means trying to tailor the presentation to your audience and who they are. A group of senior citizens, residents of a high-rise, people who live in lower-rise or single-family homes, people with mobility issues, and people without support systems, those without a network of close family or friends. You need to know your audience and know that their plan needs to include the preparedness plans of the organizations or institutions with which they are affiliated. schools, places of work, senior centers, nursing facilities, and other organizations. It is an ongoing endeavor to show, teach, and reach your neighbors and community on what to do and how to take control of circumstances that are unplanned and unknown. Emergency preparedness education means teaching your community to plan for the what if and the now what, and subsequently giving them the power to take greater control, to face the event, and to start moving forward to safety and recovery. And this is an important point. Emergencies don't have a plan, but you can. I did not arrive at this evening's award presentation on my own. I had a great deal of help in my development as a CERT and Ready New York volunteer from my many mentors, including Eric A. Baer, former PK-13 team chief and Brooklyn Borough coordinator, and especially Bill Vitale, team chief for Brooklyn 1011, who has been my mentor for the last couple of years. He and I have advanced the partnership between our teams so that we help each other with both big and small events and also Ready New York activities. I want to thank Janet Perry, Brooklyn Borough coordinator and member of CERT Brooklyn 1011, for her help and advice. I also want to thank my deputy team chief, Craig Klickfeld, for his good advice and support and many reminders. And most especially, I want to thank all of my CERT colleagues who have helped me and continue to help me in my journey. You don't realize it, but you are so important to me achieving what I achieved today. You know who you are. I'm staring at you right now. Thank you all. Now, to the new CERT graduates, congratulations. You have learned a lot and learned from the best. Fire Department, NYPD, and EMS. But this is just the beginning of your emergency response and preparedness education. You will learn even more from participating in CERT events and deployments, both on your assigned team and with others, taking advanced training courses from NYSEM, and in interacting and learning from your CERT colleagues. Learn to be a Ready New York presenter and spread the word. Also, tonight, before you go to bed, do a Google search of John D. Solomon and check out his In Case of Emergency blog. Read his perspectives on emergency preparedness and education. I hope he will inspire you the way he has inspired me. And last but not least, volunteer with Brooklyn 13. We have the fun events. My journey in CERT and emergency preparedness learning is ongoing. Receiving the John D. Solomon Award for Exemplary Service in Emergency Preparedness Education is still a shock, because I'm doing what I care about and love to do, to help my neighbors and community be better prepared for when the poop hits the fan. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart.